The 4.3.4 update just dropped today, with changes to disruptors, minor artifacts, and astral threads, most of which we covered in the last dev diary, but the devs also gave us our first look at the 4.4 update, and there are some quality of life improvements in here that players have been begging for, so let's break it all down very quickly. Two quick balance notes that weren't in the last dev diary. First, the Steam Quartermaster Destiny trait was showing the wrong tooltip. It says +2 naval capacity per 100 soldiers. However, I dug into the game files just to see this change, and it actually gives 0.5 naval cap per 100 soldiers, so 1/4 of what it claims. So if you have been building around this trait expecting that +2 naval capacity, your math has been wrong. I personally suffered a lot from it and I didn't even know, so it's a good thing that it has been fixed. Second, higher tier capital habitats will now gain more districts based on how many major bodies are in the system. This is a very meaningful buff because habitats fell off significantly with the empire size changes in 4.3, and giving them more districts based on system size makes them worth building again in the right systems. Now moving on to the 4.4 preview, the Grand Archive storage capacity increases to 60 specimens, and you can now move specimens into or out of storage freely by right-clicking them. So instead of being forced to sell a specimen right-clicking to make room, it goes to storage. You can swap them in and out whenever you want. This sounds small, but it's actually a huge change for anyone who uses the Grand Archive seriously. Previously, replacing a bad specimen meant selling it permanently. Now you can hoard everything and rotate your active specimens based on what you need. If you are the type of player who wants to collect every specimen in the galaxy Indiana Jones style, this is your change. They're also adding a slider to the automated workforce on the planet view. So instead of the current all or nothing approach, either 50% of jobs are automated or none, you'll be able to adjust the exact percentage. This matters because pops are generally more efficient than automated jobs. As your population grows and you have more spare pops available, you'd want to reduce the automation and let actual pops fill these roles. Right now, you can't do that without turning automation off entirely and losing the pop-free baseline production. The slider lets you fine-tune the balance between automated output and pop efficiency on a per-planet basis. It is a simple change, but it has a big impact on late-game economy optimization, especially for those that use the Fallen Empire buildings. Now, talking about the Starbase UI, this is the biggest quality of life change for me personally. You can now press tab to cycle from one starbase to the next, and starbase modules and buildings now have collapsible lists, the same way ships do in the shipyard. I know this doesn't sound dramatic, but if you're someone who wants all of your starbases organized the same way, the same module or the same building layout across dozens or hundreds of starbases, the current system is painful. You have to manually click each one, scroll to the list, compare your template in your head, and repeat for every single starbase. Tab cycling plus the collapsible lists make this process dramatically faster. You can tab through your entire starbase network, spot inconsistencies at a glance, and fix them without losing your mind. It's not the starbase designer that we all want, but for the starbase organization obsessives out there, this already makes a huge difference. And who knows, maybe a full starbase designer is coming eventually. One can only dream. Now, the job assignment weights is perhaps the most impactful change for general gameplay. The devs are improving how pops compete for jobs so that more suitable pops are even more likely to end up in their correct roles. If you have played 4.3 at all, you have seen the problem, like miner focused pops working as technicians, while your technician focused pops mine minerals, traits, species bonuses, job weights. The system was supposed to sort pops into optimal jobs, but in practice it was a mess. You'd open a planet and find half of your population in the wrong positions. The devs are reworking the assignment weights and doing some other shenanigans in order to fix this. Whether it fully solves the issue remains to be seen. The job assignment has been a recurring problem in this patch, but the fact that they are specifically targeted is a good sign. Quick report from High Command before we dive deeper. Most of you watching aren't officially enlisted yet. If this run gives you ideas for your own games, subscribe and join our Navy. Now the devs hinted that the next week's diary covered the situation log and megastructure UI. I'm very curious to see what those look like. The situation log in particular could use a cleanup, it's pretty old, and any megastructure UI improvements would be welcome given how central they are to late game economy. So that's it for today's update and our first look at 4.4. The balance fixes are minor, but the job assignment overhaul and the Starbase quality of life could generally change how the game feels day to day. If this breakdown helped you out, leave a like because it also helps me out a lot, and as always commanders, I will see you guys next time.